Hello, I'm Lawrence Chard. Welcome to our Chard's Coin and Bullion Dealer YouTube channel. This video is mainly for the 98% of our customers who are really lovely, wonderful people, who we also mentioned in our very recent video. Thanks again to you and them. But it's also for the 2% of miserable that moan and complain about everything very often because they don't know when they're getting a good deal or when they're getting good service, and make life almost intolerable and make it 10 times harder for us to actually look after the really good people that appreciate the good service. And some of the reason for that is because here we have a brand new 2025 1 ounce Gold Britannia that came to us direct from the Royal Mint in a tube, in a monster box, about $1,000 or $2,000. And when we did our quality control check on that, we noticed this had a few problems. Basically, it's not perfect. So this creates a kind of conundrum, or is it an oxymoron, that it's a coin in mint condition because this is exactly how it left the Royal Mint, but it's not perfect. How can that be? Because in popular kind of belief and speech, mint condition means perfect to a lot of people. If you say, I'm selling my car, it's in mint condition, you're tending to convey it's perfect. And people have this perception, this false perception, that when something comes from a mint, whichever mint, the Royal Mint in this case, that when it's made and when it comes out their door, that it's perfect. But this isn't true. The Royal Mint is a factory that happens to stamp metal out, and it has to do it very efficiently and cheaply in order for the mint to produce 1 ounce gold bullion coins and other bullion coins that can be sold to the public at very competitive and low premiums. And we start at 2.11%, I think, on these, and go down a little bit. That's remarkable. So, we have to pay the Royal Mint a premium. They have costs and they've got to make a profit, although they made a big loss last year. To do that, you can't individually hand strike that and then individually inspect every coin and get even bigger magnification and check it out for perfection. It doesn't happen. You've got to stamp it out. Sure, they've got some quality control, quite good at nowadays as it happens, but not everything's going to be perfect. It's a fact of life. Even I'm not perfect, which is why I'm wearing this. And of course, I'm joking about that, but even I'm not Donald Trump. Nobody in this world is perfect. Nothing in this world is perfect. It's something I've been meaning to talk about for a while, the fact that mint condition does not mean perfect. People who've collected coins for a long time or bought bullion, stackers, investors, will realise this. And if they read the information on our website and on other people's websites, on the Royal Mint's own website, or seen one of their videos about how their coins are mass-produced and go into big hoppers and whatever, that we don't say these coins will be perfect. We specifically say that they will have small scuffs and scratches. Sometimes there's even fingerprints on them or other marks. And yet they are still mint condition, and they are and should be acceptable. Anyway, so this coin, we spotted this a few weeks ago. We pulled it out and had a good look, and what we noticed on this is that on the reverse Britannia side of it, the rim is very highly raised and very sharp. You can feel it. You could probably, you could almost cut yourself on that, and there's a little bit of a nick in it there as well. So that's raised very high. We'll be showing you photos of this, and what we'll do, we'll show you the original photos that we took when we saw it, and they're very good photos, but what you'll notice is not all of the coin is in focus. Expert photographers out there, professional or amateur, will know that when you're doing a macro photo or using higher magnification, then it's difficult to get the front and the back of a coin or an object in perfect focus at the same time. It has always been possible, but very difficult. In the old days, you had to take a lot of photos and that you'd piece them together by hand. Nowadays, you can do it in software. This effect is known as depth of field, or lap of depth of field. And the workaround for it, or the fix, the solution to it, is HDR, which stands for what, Christian?
High dynamic range, I want to say.
That's it, yeah. And in combination with focus stacking. So you get your camera set up and you take anywhere between about 2 and maybe 200 shots of it at different focus points. And then you bung it into software and it goes shoop, and magically comes out with an image like this, which we'll now show you. And you can see the whole of the coin there is in focus. It's brilliantly sharp. That's almost magic. So we're charged like doing that. And that was done for us, by the way, by Ghost Studios, who are a local studio of a couple of, basically a couple. And they've been working together, doing photography. They do fashion photography, but they can do all sorts. They're very versatile, very knowledgeable, lovely people. Even nicer than Christian to work with, aren't they?
If you say so.
Well, Kate is, tell you.
Yeah, to be fair, she's good.
Lovely. Gary's lovely as well. So there you go. They did the HDR photos. Anyway, that's it. I'm waffling a bit here. You can see from the photos. We'll show you just about all of them, and you can see the fact that the rim is very uneven and very high and very sharp. When you look at the obverse, there's almost nothing there to be seen. You can actually feel a little bit of irregularity there. And actually, this is interesting where feel can sort of trump vision. You can actually feel the sharpness of the edge there. Whereas when you look, even under magnification, it's difficult to see much on with it. So it's an interesting coin. So we fished this out, obviously, once we'd detected it, and we wouldn't dream of sending this out to an investor or any other buyer unless they were fully aware of what the problem is. Now, there are collectors for error coins, and some errors sell for just a little bit over their face value or intrinsic value. Some sell for quite a lot of money over. Our famous Brockage sovereign, for example, is worth many times its intrinsic gold content. This one, though, is deficient. It's underweight. Let me just have a look. It should weigh 31.21 grams. It actually weighs 28.7 grams. So it's underweight by 2.45 grams. And that is 7.85% underweight. So we told the Royal Mint about this and they said, please send it back to us and we'll have a look at it and do our own report on it. And we'll examine it to make sure it doesn't happen again. I don't know how they'll make sure it won't happen again, but at least if they're aware, I presume that they see dozens of coins like this every year where there's been an error. And basically, I think either this blank has been fed into the striking area and into the collar incorrectly. It may have been tipped up on the collar rather like that, and then it's been hit, but I think that would have a different result. So we can't absolutely tell how that error came about, but it is quite severe and quite interesting. I posted about this on the Silver Forum, which regular viewers will have heard about, and there are people that came out with lots of people interested and people with different views. One in particular said, is it for sale? I said, yeah. How much would you like to offer us for it? And he then came back and said, is it underweight? And at that stage, I hadn't actually weighed it. Somebody else had, because I didn't think about it being underweight, and I should have done. So yeah, it's severely underweight. We're going to suggest to the Royal Mint that we'll keep the coin when they've had a look at it. But would they care to reimburse us for the missing gold on it? We'll see what they say. They might say yes, or they might say no, we'll have to have the coin back and swap it. Anyway, there you go. So this was basically a printout of the thread from Silver Forum. I might be talking forever if I go through this, but are there any particular ones I've missed out from here?
I don't think so. And if the viewers want to have a little read of the Silver Forum post, and we'll add that in the description, and they can I'll put them a link and they can have a read.
There is something that struck me on this, in that I'm guessing, well, I know the Royal Mint are busier than normal with their bullion coins, and they've ramped up their production, and they're striking more. They're managing to meet demand, And for the last year, demand has been going up. And for the last month or so, it's been going up even more. And in the last few weeks and days, we've seen some amazing leaps in demand and interest. It's odd because most of this new interest is for people who are new to buying coins, buying precious metals, investing in gold. And a lot of them have maybe seen something about it. Maybe they've seen it on from social media that gold's the thing to buy. And they just come on to the internet, find a website, maybe ours, maybe somebody else's, order something quick before the price goes up even more. And they don't bother to read the product description or some of the other information on the websites. So we've published stuff on there. On every one of our product pages, it does say things like on this coin, that bullion coins are not perfect. They come with some scuffs, etc. And we reference to the 2%, did I mention 2% of miserable You bleep that out of it, good away. Probably just as well. We don't want to insult them, even though they're miserable. And what aren't we? We've got a lot of people complaining bitterly or coming online giving us like 1-star reviews on Trustpilot and probably elsewhere. Said, oh, I got a gold sovereign and it was only in a plastic bag. Not even in a capsule. Didn't have a box, didn't have a certificate of authenticity. We did this in the last video, so anybody who watched that, I'm sorry if I'm repeating myself. Have I missed anything out?
I don't think you have. And just to cap that off, nobody's perfect, and that coin certainly isn't.
No. But yeah, it's desirable.
Exactly. Question to the viewers at home is, if you were to have this coin, what would you do with it? Would you keep it in the condition it's in now, or would you get it slabbed?
Oh, that's a good question. I hadn't thought about that. I think most investors wouldn't want this. It's only going to be a tiny majority of people who are interested in other coins that would buy this. But to some people, it might be worth a great deal more as an error than it is. Even with the lightweight gold, it might be worth twice what a perfect version would be. It shows you're not perfect because I don't think you've reminded me about doing a thumbs up if you like it and a thumbs down if you don't like it, and subscribing if you want to hear more of this dribble from me next week or whenever it is. Any more questions, put down in the comments. If you want to agree with what I'm saying, put them in the comments. If you want the 2%, you can put your comments down there. We'll just ignore them. No, we'll look at them and we might respond. Issue some of the 98. And the feedback we've had from our last video was absolutely fabulous. Some of the 1-star reviews we get, totally unfair and untrue ones, make me think, I could just do with giving this up. Nobody needs this. Somebody today was on Facebook, I think, that our staff in the showroom just sit around picking the nose all day. It turns out it's a dealer, by the way, which is rather off.
We'll save that for the next video.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. The other comments from the 98% are absolutely wonderful, make me thought, yeah, it's worth being here and doing this and looking after people. And it's not just me, our staff feel exactly the same. When they see some of the crap comments, they oh, no, I don't believe that. When they see the really good ones, oh, that's nice. And when they get a name check, they love it. Anyway, there you go. I've whittled on for too long. Hopefully you'll see us again soon. Bye for now.